Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. This is Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration, what's hot, and what has been going on in the past week or so. So, you know me, I like to dive right in. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about this morning is DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And a couple weeks ago, we saw that a federal court judge out of Texas decided that the DACA program was to be stopped for all new applicants. And we now see announced last week that President Biden, through the Justice Department, is planning on appealing that decision. Part of President Biden's campaign promises when he was on the campaign trail to become the president was that he would advance DACA, and so he is not going to let this go without a fight. So we can expect to see an appeal to that Texas federal court decision. So we will keep you up to date as that winds its way through the court system. The second thing I wanted to talk about today, this morning, this fantastic Monday morning, is amazingly great news for F1 students. F1 students can now, when they are doing a change of status from one non-immigrant status to F1 student status, they now do not have to file what we were referring to previously as bridging petitions or bridging applications. They can file the one application for student status, wait until that change of status has been processed and approved, and then they will be in student status. They no longer need to file sometimes multiple applications prior to the F1 status being approved to maintain their old non-immigrant status. So that is incredible news. That saves our international students money, time, anxiety, angst, and it also cuts down and reduces the backlog and the burden of these extra bridging applications for the Immigration Service. So hopefully that will help the service work through their current backlog. So frankly, I think this is great news all around. So students no longer have to file those bridging applications. So I, for one, am quite excited about that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is USCIS is starting to work in more efficiencies. I've been talking about these efficiencies for a little bit now. I'm excited to see yet one more come through from the Immigration Service, and that is some I-140 applications or petitions for immigrant workers. They are now expanding their current pilot program to accept more credit card payments for those filing fees. So that is, again, just one more efficiency. And it's frankly safer. We don't need all these checks flying through the mail system. That can be, and unfortunately mail gets lost. It happens, and that just creates anxiety when we're mailing significant checks to the Immigration Service. So that is one more step towards efficiency. And I am actually really super excited to see that. So if you are interested in finding out more information on that or anything immigration related, feel free to call my office, 954-903-1337. The next topic I want to talk about that was frankly all the rage last week, made several phone calls about this, the H-1B cap cases. So that there's usually, for many, many years, there's only been one lottery. This year, they just ran a second lottery on the 28th, so last week. So if you applied for a spot in the H-1B cap lottery earlier this year, around March, and you were not selected, it is imperative that you go back into your My USCIS account and check and see if your registration status is now showing as selected. If it is, that means that you have been selected to apply for the H-1B. It does not mean that your H-1B application will automatically get approved, but it does mean that you can now file your H-1B application, your CAP subject H-1B application. So you should have received an email as well as having your status in My USCIS updated. But even if you didn't receive an email, sometimes glitches in the system happen. So log into your My USCIS account and double check and see if that registration status now says selected. If it does, you can now file your H-1B application. And they will begin accepting those applications today, and they will stop accepting those applications for the second lottery on November 3rd of this year. So you want to make sure that you go in, check that out in your My USCIS account. And if you were selected, now you get to file your H-1B application. So that is very, very important that you check that. Next up, my friends, is the biometrics. Previously, we were only allowed to change biometrics appointments by writing in to the to USCIS and requesting that those, requesting a change in an appointment day and time. We didn't have control over what day or time, the new day or time that we would be provided, but that was our mechanism. We had to do it in writing. Next came a hybrid of you can do it in writing or you can call the customer service number. So now we have just been alerted to a complete change. There is no more sending in a written request to have your biometric appointment changed. You must make all biometric appointment change requests via the USCIS customer service number. Do not send them any more letters requesting a biometric change. You just now have to call. This is supposed to be an efficiency. Hopefully it will be efficient. The jury is still out on that. We don't have enough data. So I will keep you up to speed on that and let you know sort of what we are seeing as immigration attorneys anecdotally. But right now, if you want to change your biometric appointment, you cannot make it for some reason, you will need to call the customer service line for USCIS. And the last thing I want to mention today is USCIS has changed its COVID procedures again to be flexible with what is happening real time in the country. We now have gone back to wearing, and they are requiring that we wear masks when we enter government immigration related buildings. So if you are going for your biometrics, if you are going for an interview, if you are going for a naturalization ceremony, you must wear a mask regardless of your vaccination status. So it does not matter if you are vaccinated, it does not matter if you are not vaccinated. In order to enter USCIS buildings and advance your immigration case, you will need to wear a mask. You will need to practice social distancing. And as always, you will need to follow the instructions of the employees and the guards in those buildings. So again, regardless of your vaccination status, you must wear a mask when entering any USCIS buildings to conduct business for your immigration case. So if you have any questions on anything we've talked about this morning or any other immigration issues, feel free to call me, Carol Williams, at Williams Immigration, 954-903-1337, or you can feel free to pop a comment in the comment section below. I do look at these all the time to make sure that I'm keeping up with your comments, and I do respond. So again, have a fantastic Monday and a great week. This is Carol Williams with your Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite. Bye, all.